And we are live, hopefully. Good morning, y'all. It's Ned over My Philippine Dreams, N to the E to the D over at MPD. 215 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal coming at you from Dumaguete City, the city of gentle people. And welcome to another episode of This Week in the Philippines. This Week in the Philippines is a weekly live cast that I do on Wednesday mornings, 10 o'clock local time, 9 p.m. the previous night if you're in the United States on the East Coast. And in it we try to talk about some topics that affect foreigners living in the Philippines, studying, retiring, residing, traveling, doing whatever they are, in our beautiful little island archipelago. And we also respond to comments and we respond to questions. So if you are on the live stream, and hopefully the live stream is doing okay today because it's pouring rain outside. It's been pouring rain for about like a week now. It's been crazy. So hopefully the internet will hold up and we won't get any brownouts. If the signal suddenly disappears, it's not a nuclear strike. We haven't got to that point yet. It's just our internet going or our electricity failing. And actually in Negros, we don't have it too bad. There's other parts of the Philippines that are getting it really bad right now. All right, so we are live, just checking. Got 11 people watching. Oh, man, my numbers are going down on the live cast. People don't like the live cast. All right, so today we're going to be talking about three things. We're going to be talking about pornography in the Philippines. We're going to be talking about Chinese missiles in the Philippines. And we're going to be talking more about martial law because President Duterte is talking once again about martial law, even though many times he said he's not going to declare it unless there's an invasion of something. First up, though, it was Michelle's birthday this past week. She turned 30 years young. And thanks to everybody who wished her a happy birthday. We had a great time in Siquijor. We went away for her birthday. We spent 2 days there. And it was absolutely beautiful. The weather was pretty much perfect. It wasn't too hot, it wasn't too cold, it didn't rain too much. It was overcast most of the time, but we still had periods where, you know, the sun shone through, and we had a lot of fun, and it was really nice. And on that, and we're talking about the rain too, don't forget the rain. Cagayan de Oro. Actually, the rain was so deep, they got 160 centimeters of rain within like 11 hours or something, and caused extensive flooding down there. Matter of fact, the water was up to the roofs of cars. All right, so first thing we're going to talk about, then we'll go to comments, is Philippines blocks access to popular porn sites. As part of a crackdown on child pornography, Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte has banned a number of X-rated websites in the country, according to his communications secretary. Sites including Pornhub and Xvideos are now reportedly inaccessible. I actually tested this just for research purposes, and it seems like they're all still working. I didn't test it on my Smart Data, though, because I guess it's Smart and Sun are the only carriers to be complying with this new declaration so far. Since Saturday, visitors from Philippines to Pornhub, which doesn't host child pornography, by the way, not that I know anything about that, were redirected to a page with the message, "This website has been ordered blocked under authority of the Philippine government pursuant to Republic Act 9775 of the Anti-Child Pornography Law." Presidential Communications Secretary Martin Andinar. Martin Andinar is basically the guy who goes in and cleans up after President Duterte scares everybody with his rhetoric. Told journalists attending the launch of the Asian Southeast Nations meeting in Manila on Sunday that these porn sites should really be banned because they are being used by pedophiles and other people who subscribe to child pornography sites. "We don't want our youth or even our adults to be addicted to lewd videos shown on the internet," Andinar said on behalf of President Duterte. An anti-child pornography council composed of social workers and policemen has been given the task of identifying which sites breach the anti-child pornography law. Information and Communications Technology Secretary Rodolfo Salalima told the Inquirer. Recently released statistics from Pornhub, and I've mentioned this before over the past couple of years because the Philippines always wins, reveals viewers in the Philippines spend the longest time on the site. This is a study that Pornhub does every year. For the second consecutive year, actually I think it's the third, Filipinos spent longer on the site than anyone else, averaging around 12 minutes and 45 seconds per visit, ahead of South Africa and the U.S., which is in third. So the United States came in third. Come on, U.S., try to catch up, will you? One of the reasons I think the Filipinos spend so much time on these porn sites is because of the internet here. Even if you have like DSL or PLDT or a decent internet, you're still going to experience buffering issues. And a lot of these guys, a lot of these people, and I guess 30%, over 30% of them are women, Filipinas, are accessing it on their phones. And the phones here, the data, sometimes they have 3G, rarely they got LTE, but most of the time it's like 2G. So there's a lot of buffering. Not that I'd know anything about that. So that's pornography. That's basically, and some people are concerned about this, you know, with Duterte, President Duterte talking about martial law. Is this censorship? Is this the start of censorship? Start with something easy, you know, being moral entrepreneurs, trying to govern other people's morals and ethics. It's easy to start with the porn sites and say something that's not true about them, that they host child pornography, because they don't. That would be illegal. They would be shut down. Let's check the comments really quick. See how many people we got. 73. All right. Scott Parnell, aloha, aloha. KI4GLX, yeah, you can email me at myphilippinedreams@gmail. Hello, Nick. Hello, George. Wally, what's going on? What's up, Ned? Morning from Malaysia. Rose, miss my country, Philippines. Hi, Rose. I love Malaysia. Actually, one of my best friends in the United States, she's from Malaysia. And hopefully I'll be going there to meet up with her because she's going to be vacationing. And I want to see the orangutans. Bill Johnson, greetings from North Carolina. I was a brag from 87 to 89, 35th signal. By the way, Vietnam is still the armpit of North Carolina. Yeah, I was at Bragg from 85 to 88. 35th signal. I don't remember where that was. I think that... Wally Brown says, serious question. How is the drainage and the infrastructure? Flooding looked very bad. Yes, certain areas, Cagayan de Oro in particular, got hit really hard, but they get hit really hard whenever there's flooding. Basically what's going on is a low pressure area coming through, and it's coming through very slowly, and it's dumping a lot of water. There was even flooding down in southern Dumaguete, washed out some bridges. Didn't actually wash them out because they built the bridges there so that they can be flooded over, so that they don't get washed away. But whenever there's heavy rains here, because of the way the islands are configured, the water hits the highlands and it just comes down, it cascades down to all the lowland areas, and all the lowland areas along the coast is where most of the population lives. Christopher DeMona asks, what is your opinion of marrying in the Philippines and then getting spousal visa to the U.S.? Any thoughts? From what I know and my limited knowledge on this, it's actually quicker to do a fiancé visa. If you get married here or you get married somewhere else, Hong Kong or whatever, it takes a little bit longer to get a spousal visa. That's the last I heard. Cedric Edwards, hello from Oregon. Really like your book and should be there in three more weeks to hunt up a rental. All right. Hopefully the rains will have stopped by then. And good luck on finding a rental, because we're also looking for a rental. We're looking for a new house rental. We're always looking. Yeah, KI4GLX says, Christopher, check out a K1. It only takes about 6 months, where if you marry there, you're looking at 2 years. And from what I'm hearing, that's about the standard. Charles Oliver says, starting to sound like Marcos all over again. Yeah. Dan Goering, hi, hey Ned, how did you guys fare during the flooding? We actually did really well. The front yard's a little bit flooded, but it's not too bad. I was a little concerned about it, but all is good. Dwayne Vachon, aloha, was at Bragg's 64 to 66. Yeah, I liked, that was fun. That was a good time. Smoke Bomb Hill, oh, okay, Smoke Bomb Hill besides 7th SF. Down by the Iron Mike statue, by the JFK Special Warfare Museum. I think that's, is that 35th? I know 50th Engineers is on the other side of the road there. Bobby K says, glad to see the witches didn't eat you, Ned. Yes, I'm glad that they didn't. All right, so we're going to move on to the next topic. And I'll get back to the comments. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave questions. With my limited knowledge base on what goes on here, I will try to answer them. Next up, Chinese missiles in the South China Sea. The Philippines has filed a low-key diplomatic protest with China after a U.S. think tank reported that Beijing appears to have installed anti-aircraft and anti-missile weapons on its man-made islands in the strategically vital South China Sea. The Center for Strategic and International Studies reports that anti-aircraft guns and weapons systems designed to guard against missile attacks appear to have been placed on all 7 of China's newly created islands. And if you've been following this, they're talking about the Spratlys, and the Chinese have been basically building up these islands, and they've installed air bases, and they got, you know, barracks and all this stuff, and now they're installing anti-aircraft missiles. Yasai told CNN Philippines that Manila had responded, but it did so quietly. Quote, I just want to assure the Filipino people that when we take action and engage in China in this dispute, we do not want to take such aggressive, provocative action that we will not solve the problem. We cannot engage China in a war. Nevertheless, he said, when there are reports about the buildup of Western weapon systems in the area during our watch, we made sure that the interests and rights of the Philippines are properly protected. So basically what happened was the U.S. told them about this. They showed them the satellite imagery and stuff, and the Philippines did a low-key protest. And China's like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. Those are grain silos. Beijing says the artificial islands are intended to boost maritime safety in the region while downplaying their military utility. They also buttressed China's claim to ownership of practically the entire South China Sea. Taiwan, Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, and Brunei also claim territory in the waterway, through which an estimated $5 trillion in global trade passes each year. In the Monday interview, Yasai said President Duterte is expected to visit Russia sometime in May and has been invited to both Moscow and St. Petersburg, Russian President Vladimir Putin's hometown. So things are progressing in the South China Sea. It's one of the most important maritime trading routes in the entire world. As a matter of fact, if something catastrophic was to happen in that area, a lot of areas around the world would experience famine because of the inability to move around products, produce, and all that. All right, back to the comments and the questions. Oh yeah, somebody mentioned that they got 50 megabit download. Sky Broadband's got 50 meg download, 5 megabit upload. I gotta check on that. Dwayne Vachon, Scott Parnell. Bill Johnson asks, I've been watching for a while and don't understand the issue with drinking well water. Why can't you drink well water? Basically because of like bacteria and microbes and untreated water. It's not recommended to drink out of the tap or to drink. I'm not sure about well water, like if you're way off in the province somewhere and you're super isolated. But you got to realize there's a lot of bacteria, there's a lot of viruses, there's a lot of like little microbes and stuff. This is the tropics. So everybody, I mean everybody, basically drinks bottled water. You'll see workers sometimes drinking out of hoses and stuff, but they've been here for a long time. My PI Dream Net, I sent you a PM a few days ago regarding our new channel. Did you receive it? No, I didn't. I'll go check it out. Oh, because you're building a new house. And thought our subscribers might be interested in your experience. Hopefully they can take a look at our site, My PI Dream. So that's a YouTube channel, My PI Dream. I'll check it out, and if it's a good channel, I'll put it up on our recommended. Yeah, KI4 says, never drink water in a third world from a well. You know, open sewers, yeah, like I mean, even like on the Dumaguete waterfront, man, the sewage and stuff, the stench sometimes is just horrific. Somebody said, okay, would a Berkey water filter work? I think a water filter would work, but I think you're still going to get a strange taste. And somebody said, not without chlorine dioxide. Yeah. So if you got the water treatment tabs, like that's one of the things I have in our little bug out bag is water treatment tabs in case there's a horrible calamity. Dun, dun. What tops, Rick Byers asks, what tops the list of things to do in Dumaguete? Well, there's always going down to Darwin Beach. We like that. If it's a hot day, you go down there. There's actually shade out with these giant trees over, and it's, the marine sanctuary is right in front of it. You got Apple Island nearby, which is great scuba diving. You got some of the waterfalls around the area. It's a good jumping off point to go visit a lot of areas because it's got a pretty efficient port system. The ships there are basically running all the time. And it's also easy access to Cebu, and you can go to Oslob, you can go to Kawasan Falls, canyoneering. I actually got to do an article someday, I keep trying to do this, on things to do in and around Dumaguete. There's also golf. They got the Angtai golf course. They have, all kinds of sporting stuff. Mountain biking is really big here. There's guys that go every morning and ride up to Valencia, and they're sitting there around 10 o'clock in the morning after riding up from the city. They got softball teams. They got the Expat softball team here in Dumaguete. There's things to do. People are getting involved. They got AA meetings. You got to have AA meetings with a bunch of crazy foreigners running around. Corey, what's up, Corey? But for the bug outs, what did it say? But for the bug outs, for sure, you need the filter and our tabs. Bruce Bogan, Ned, what is up with the peso? It seems to have stabilized between 49.5 and 49.8. Yeah, it's basically sitting there, and that's a good exchange rate. That's good for us. That's good for foreigners living here, because the pesos took a little bit of a drubbing. Yeah, Scott Parnell says Mindanao is close. It certainly is, but I've been down to Mindanao, and I don't really like it that much down there. Everybody stares. You really stand out. Yeah. Okay. Now for our final story, before we get one final time back to the comments. Once again, President Duterte is talking martial law. President Rodrigo Duterte said he won't hesitate to declare martial law if only to preserve the nation. Stressing that he is not out to extend his term as president, he said not even the Supreme Court or Congress can stop him if he decides to declare martial law. Now what the situation is, following the Marcos years and martial law and all that, they put some checks and balances in place here in the Philippines government. So the president can still declare martial law, but the Congress and the Supreme Court can review it, and if they don't like it and they get a majority vote in Congress or whatever, they can nullify it. So that's basically what this says. Congress can revoke the president's proclamation through a joint vote by at least a majority of all its members. Any citizen can also petition the Supreme Court to review the martial law proclamation. President Duterte says, if I have to declare martial law, I will declare it. Not about invasion, insurrection, not about danger. I will declare martial law to preserve my nation, period. I do not care about the Supreme Court because the right to preserve one's life in my nation, my country, transcends even everything else, even the limitation, he said before members of the Davao City Chamber of Commerce. He seems to be spending a lot of time down in Davao. If I want to, it will deteriorate into something really very virulent. I will declare martial law if I wanted to. Nothing can stop me, he added. The martial law provisions really to defend the country because of the hangover of martial law were destroyed during the Cory Constitution because of their hangover from martial law. That's talking about the Marcos era. President Duterte previously said he believes the constitutional provision on martial law should be amended, basically to make it easier to declare martial law without the Supreme Court or Congress saying, no, you can't do that. One former senator, I won't say his name here, stated there is, because I can't pronounce it, it's not trying to protect him. One former senator stated there is no need for President Duterte to declare martial law as he has been carrying it out for the past 6 months. The senator said, what would President Duterte need a formal declaration of martial law for? We have an unproclaimed martial law in our new police state where he decides who will live and who will die. Reacting to President Duterte's statement about declaring martial law only to preserve the nation, the former senator said, formally inflicting martial law would not change anything. We have a police state. We've had a police state for months now, victimizing the poorest of the poor, who will suffer more while our values, institution, and processes continue to be damaged. Our damaged cultures will decay. That sounds like a liberal. Oh, by the way, here in the Philippines, liberals are referred to as yellows, because I guess yellow is the party color. Maybe it's got something to do with Cory Aquino and the yellow ribbon that she wore. I'm not sure. But when you look at comments, like whenever anything's going on and it's on Facebook and you see Filipinos all chiming in, you'll see them saying like yellow tards and all this stuff, which is basically like calling liberals snowflakes. and all that fun stuff. So those are 3 things that are going on in the Philippines right now that could affect foreigner life. I feel like Chris Lane. That could affect foreigners living, studying, working in the Philippines. Pornography. Don't be messing with my porno. Chinese missiles. Yeah, they've basically set up shop. If they start doing takeout, though, from the Spratlys, I can forgive them. And more talk about martial law. And there's more posturing. And then following President Duterte's talk to the Davao Merchant Council, or whatever it was, his communications secretary once again came in afterwards and explained that's not what he meant and that he's not going to declare martial law. But again, if you're in the Philippines, if you're a foreigner in the Philippines, you got to have a plan A, you got to have a plan B, you got to have a plan C, you got to have all kinds of contingencies to get out in case things go south. I don't see that happening. I don't agree personally with what's going on here, but I am not a citizen of the Philippines. I am not Filipino. I am not Pinoy. So I have no say in it, basically. I hope things work out. Attitudes towards foreigners have not changed. When you're living outside of Luzon, I can only speak as living outside of Luzon. I don't know what's going on in Luzon, but the attitudes haven't changed. And when you're out in the provincial areas or the outskirting provinces, I almost said Providence. Hey, Dieter. It doesn't stuff that Luzon says doesn't really affect. Everybody just kind of ignores it outside of Luzon. And I think there's a resentment towards the Tagalog, the ruling elite, and all that. I think President Duterte is actually the first non-Tagalog president in the Philippines, because I believe they've all been part of the Tagalog ruling elite. There's a certain number of families, I think it's 13 families or something, that own like 97% of the wealth and a lot of the power here. Also, I have a question. Maybe somebody can answer this. What happened to Jeffrey the Pinoy troll? Let me see if he's in here somewhere. Jeffrey, are you here? Oh no. Hey, can somebody leave a comment? Am I still connected? Spicy David 2005 says, you see Peter rip OFW workers. Yeah, I watch all his stuff, actually. My favorite one was, are you going to deport Dieter Van Beaver? And at the end he's like, there's only one way you can get rid of me, and that's to kill me, and you can't do that. And the one where he talked about contractual workers and how great it is for Filipinos to have, a month off every 5 months and then come back to work, so they're basically getting two months of vacation a year. But he didn't say anything about that's how they avoid paying benefits like paid holidays, SSS, health insurance, all that stuff. So yeah, there's a little bit of misinformation on some of these channels. Pineapple Pen said Pinoy Troll is still around. Does anybody know what his new channel name is? Yeah, and again, if you follow all the craziness, and I'll tell you, and I usually don't say channel names, but I will just say Frankie Battaglia. The stuff that he's been doing lately, and if you've been following that drama, it's pretty wild. And actually he was doing impressions of some of the vloggers that he's beefing with, because there's like all these vloggers that are like attacking each other and calling each other names and all this stuff. And the impressions that he did on some of the other vloggers was actually pretty good, I thought. So. Okay, Pineapple Pen, you posted the link, URL path. Okay, got it. Oh, hold on one second. I want to put this up. Yeah, and Jeff, I don't think Jeff's listening because he hasn't chimed in yet, but I'd really like to be able to interview Jeff. We'll probably do it offline if we could do it on Skype or something, because I think he's got a lot of perspective to share about the culture here. A lot more than any of us foreigners do. We don't speak the language. We're not fully assimilated. We're not really part of the culture here because of the differences. And I just like to talk to Jeff about some of his experience and some of the things that I see and what the context is and where it comes from and all that stuff. Oh, it's just called the Pinoy Troll? Okay. Dieter needs to get a girlfriend. He changed his attitude and he is loner. Yeah. He, yeah. Yeah, North Star. Yeah, you saw his Chris Lane invitation. Scott Parnell says, "Don't watch the Cheesemas." I do just because of again, when I was working, I worked with dual diagnosed clients, drug addicts, alcoholics, and usually people with mental health issues, specifically personality disorders, antisocial personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorders, sociopathy, psychopathy, all that stuff. So just seeing some of the behaviors and seeing some of the things that people are doing, especially when it comes to attacking other people, and then people respond and then they get all upset because they feel like they're being victimized. You see a lot of that, and that's called, back in my day, I think they've changed what they call it, but back in my day it was called borderline personality disorder, when people attack others and then they get retaliated against and they shrivel up into a ball and they say, oh, everybody's hating on me. And you got some of these guys that are taking down each other's channels. They're flagging videos, they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and then they do a video proclaiming their triumph over the haters, saying, aha, I showed them. And yeah. And I also think there's a value in some of these odder individuals because it gives you a good overview of the types of foreigners that you're going to meet in the Philippines. Unfortunately, they all seem to be American for some reason. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that and see where that's coming from. There's no crazy like German vloggers yet. Although there is one sort of Australian one. I won't say that. Jeff Lee Brown. Interesting. Also, this goes out to It Takes Two. There's another YouTube channel that you might want to check out called It Takes Two, and he suffered the attack of one individual, I think his name's Dieter Van Beaver, and he got all upset about it. He took it personally. He did a retaliation video. And what happens is when you retaliate against these guys and you put their names up and you single them out, there's two things that can happen. First off, you're going to give them more views. You're going to give them more views. You're going to give them more subscribers, because there's two camps about Philippine expats. There's the guys that are like, yeah, the Philippines seems like a pretty nice place, and there's the other one where the guys really hate it and they just see us all as terrible, amoral individuals. So that can cause a problem. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to give them more traction. You don't want to give them the satisfaction of even responding. And also, if you mention them by name, and they're going to do this because this is how they operate, they're going to flag your video and say, hey, this is a privacy violation. He's using my name or he's using my image. And you get 3 of those community violations, and they can take your channel down. So don't feed into the trolls. Now, if you go to Dieter Van Beaver's, and some people know who he is, his YouTube channel, you'll see like 8 videos that he's done on me. On his DieterVanBeaver.com site, there was like 15 articles that he had done on me. And he also uses, he'll take images out of our videos and use it as clickbait. He'll put pictures of me up on his thumbnails, me and Michelle, or me and Henry, or whatever. And again, that's just to drive views. But the difference between me and him is, I'm from Dorchester. I'm from Dorchester, Mass. And we don't go around telling on people. We don't go on reporting things. So he's basically getting away with that, unfortunately. Whereas I can't basically do the same thing that he's doing and report him for using my image, which you're not supposed to do because it's a privacy violation, as clickbait. But again, it's interesting seeing how sociopaths operate. And we're all guilty of it. We all got personality disorders to one extent or another. Like I said last week, somebody once described foreigners in the Philippines as missionaries, morons, misfits, or malcontents. I'm kind of a combination of the latter 3. So it takes a special kind of person to live long term in a third world country. Scott Parnell says, stay away from anyone who says, hey friend. Somebody says Wally Brown says, question, body of a foreigner was found in Bohol. Anyone have any news? No, I haven't heard about that one. Was that a German? Oh. Yeah, Corey, that's the old Peter Eater. He's still going strong. You gotta go to his site and check out his He's lost a lot of weight. He doesn't look good. I hope it works out for him, man. Because I am convinced at this point that he's not really aware of, what's going on, as far as why all these people are upset about him. If you do a Google search on his name now, all kinds of crazy stuff comes up because people have like devoted entire web pages and YouTube videos to him, YouTube channels devoted to him. All right, but that's enough cheese, miss. I try not to get too involved in that stuff, although, like I said, I do watch it because it's interesting to see. And sometimes they bring up valid points. We can learn things from everyone. We can learn, sometimes they're imparting knowledge, sometimes they're imparting wisdom, and sometimes they're imparting behaviors and attitudes that you don't want to see in yourself. And if you recognize it in them, you might see it in yourself and say, okay, maybe I got to take a look at myself and see if I can fix that. All right, any more? Yes, Pineapple Pen, Dorchester. Corey says, I think I seen one of his vids and looked like he rode hard and put away well. Yeah, and finally, Charles Oliver says, hey, how's the kids? Junjun was looking better in the last video you did with them. They're doing good. I'm sure they're wet and soggy right now. They still got the house back there. And they're also going to be doing, I still got to ask Bud, but we're probably going to do monthly spaghetti fests. I'm going to try to talk to McDonald's about getting a discounted rate or something. Let them know what we're doing. Oh, and then there's guys doing stuff like what we're doing. Sometimes we do these spaghetti fests and stuff. And they're like, oh, those are illegal charities. We're going to report them and take them down. It's crazy. Although there are some people that are collecting stuff and not being transparent in what they're collecting and what they're using the money for. Christopher Lane says, have you lost a bunch of subs lately, Ned? I was unsubbed from your channel and had to resub. Strange. You weren't unsubbed, dude. I blocked your lame ass. Do you know what I'm saying? No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I haven't noticed anything. Yeah, no, my streams are usually Wednesday morning. So if you're going to do streams and they're easy to do, don't do it on Wednesday morning because that's my time. How's Cebu? Cebu got a good amount of flooding. They got a good amount of water in Cebu. Actually, it looks like it finally stopped. Okay, so we've gone on long enough. It's been about 34 minutes. I hope you guys got something out of that. Thanks once again to everybody that wished Michelle a happy 30th birthday. She's catching up to me. And that was very nice of you because a lot of people reached out and said very nice things. Much appreciated. And I haven't seen his latest video, no. Hi, Ned. When are you getting married? Soon. Soon. It's not going to be a public affair. All right, gentlemen and ladies, thanks again for checking the stream out. Thanks for everybody who participated. Unfortunately, the comments that you guys leave in the live chat isn't transcribed to, hey, there's my better half. There's Michelle. You can't see yourself because there's a delay. As you can see, it's cold here. It's 76 degrees this morning, and Michelle's got she's got basically a tracksuit on and a sweatshirt because she's freezing. Me, I'm in a tank top. I'm comfortable. So once again, thanks to you all, and this is Ned.
And this is Michelle.
And we are My Philippine Dreams. We'll see you next time. Take care.